time to pot up the tomatoes. It's been 2 weeks and these tomatoes look amazeballs. Most of them, anyway. I have a few that did not germinate, but I will reseed the ones that didn't germinate. The ones that are ready, let me take one out. Let's take out a pink Berkeley tie-dye. Yeah. So they are not root bound. They are not root bound, but they have their first set of true leaves. They're very tall, very healthy looking. Look at those fuzzy long stems. So I'm gonna pot them up. These little, I think these are 4-inch pots. I did the knuckle measurement and I got like 3.5, so I'm gonna call them a 4-inch pot from plants that I've bought in the past. Should you wash and sterilize these before you reuse them? Probably. I do not, and I will not. This is my pot of potting mix that I like to put in the oven and sterilize. I have peat moss to add to it. So I'm gonna use my, my oven pot of soil and some peat moss to fill these up and put the little baby plants in them. I will be adding fish emulsion because I don't think there are any nutrients in that oven pot of dirt. You don't have to be as gentle with that fell on the floor, the root ball. You don't have to be as gentle with tomatoes because all of those little hairs on the stem is gonna become roots. And what we're gonna do after I separate them is when we put them in the bigger pot, we're gonna bury them up to the neck. And you've heard me say that about all my seedlings because I do this technique for all of my seedlings, not just tomatoes and peppers and things. I learned it from the Superior Gardener. She has an awesome Instagram and YouTube channel. I more see her on Instagram than YouTube though. I need to give her some love on YouTube. She buries all of her seedlings up to the neck, no matter what it is. Doesn't matter if it's tomatoes, peppers, cabbages, basil, flowers, whatever. Do it and it works, which goes against everything I was previously taught when planting like trees and shrubs. Like you don't want to do that for trees and shrubs and some perennials because you'll kill them, especially a tree. You always bury it to the level it was in the pot. But for these seedlings, it just works, and I've had success with it. So we've got pretty good roots on all three. Okie dokie. So let me move out of the way. We'll just work with this first one here. I've got this halfway filled with the mixture. I'm gonna use a spoon just to get down towards the bottom here. Nestle that in, and then we're just gonna fill it. Give it a little pack down. Fill some more. So all along that stem, roots are gonna form, and it helps create a sturdier, because they're sturdier, healthier plant with a more mature root system by the time it goes outside. Probably around the end of March. So we'll see how long it takes to outgrow this pot, and then we can pot it up to the next size. And if it outgrows that pot before it's time to go outside, I have this size. So I am prepared with all the pots. All right, so there's our tomato plant. I do not have enough of these white tags for each individual pot, so I like to use blue painter's tape and Sharpie, and I'm just gonna stick it to the side here. All right, there's my label. Pink Berkeley tie-dye. I've got the date the seed was sown 1/15, the date it was potted up 1/30, 78 days to maturity. Now when I pot these up again, I will add that date as well. Now you don't have to do that, that's just for my records. So I think this plant looks beautiful for only being 2 weeks in existence. That's amazing. All right, I'll do the other two and then I can move on to the next tomato. This is some very, very, very diluted fish emulsion. I do not want to burn these babies. All right, there we go. First 3 are done. This is so exciting. It's my year, I'm telling you, 2023. So next we'll do Ice's Candy. This is a cherry tomato. Pink Berkeley tie-dye is like a big slicer. Oh, well, half of that root ball stayed in the tray. This is where I get most of my leftover dirt from that's in the oven pot. Whatever's left in cell trays or left in other flower pots, I just put it in that pot, and I will put it in the oven periodically to sterilize it, and I just keep using it. So, Ice's Candy. And when I want to put nutrients back into it, that's when I use the fish emulsion, worm castings, and I don't think I have enough soil to do all of these. I am running out fast, so that's lame. But you get the idea. You get the idea of what I'm doing. These tomatoes are important. This 2023 vegetable garden is very important to me. Yeah, this is taking a lot of soil in this particular pot. Well, it's taller. A little bit tall, not much, a little bit taller. Maybe I should have buried it deeper. That's my problem. I need to put the actual seedling deeper. That way I don't need so much soil on top. Okay. Is it raining again? I think it's raining again. We've had enough rain. Thank you very much. Oh. I'll have to remember this though come August when I'm begging for rain. And it's 1,000,000 degrees outside and we haven't had rain in a month. Yeah, it's raining. All right, I'm gonna bury this one a little bit deeper so I don't have to use quite as much soil. Okay, once I get a few drips at the bottom, then I know the water has made it all the way through. I lost it for a second. This one's kind of small. A little bit small to be potting up, but since we're doing all the rest, we might as well. I like those. It's just personal preference. I like those first set of true leaves to be of a decent size before I pot up. But I suppose it doesn't matter. I'm still new at this too, guys. I am. I love it, and I try to learn as much as I can, but I don't know everything yet, for sure. I started my first vegetable garden like in 2010, 2011. So I was already older, right? I wasn't like in my 20s. And I remember my husband laughing at me because I bought, I was gonna do the, I was doing the bag method where you get a bag of soil and you put a slit in it and you just plant your tomato plants in that bag. I don't even know if I did drainage holes. Anyway, I planted them and I walked away. And he's like, you know you have to water that. I'm like, no, I don't. Do you see me out here watering these oak trees? Plants just figure it out. They're fine. You plant them in the dirt and nature, whatever. Anyway, they all died. And he likes to bring up that story to everyone. When I start talking about, I have a YouTube channel. He's like, did you know she didn't know you were supposed to water your plants? I'm like, yes, babe, thank you. Thank you for bringing that up yet again. I'm gonna tell you what, using fish emulsion in the house, most people won't, and I don't blame you because it stinks. It smells like fish right now. Before I run out of soil though, for sure, I've got to pot up these Jimmy Nardellos. So let me show you the Jimmy Nardellos. These peppers look amazing, and I did water them this morning. Looks like I gave them too much water. So I'm potting these up, one, because they've outgrown this a little bit, and two, because there's no drainage holes here, because this is where they germinated with the lid on them. So what I need to do, I think I'll just use my spoon to slice through here, show you this middle one. It's like cutting a dirt cake. Take some of the soil off so while I handle this plant, I'm not stressing it out by having all the weight of that ball on there. Okay. All right. So this has really good roots, nice roots, but look at the stem. And you can see how when you bury it deep, roots are going to form. See all those little white knobbies? All those little white knobs? Can I get closer? Let me get closer and see if it'll focus my nails. I need to cut my nails. It's hard for dirt to get underneath them if they're not there. See those white knobs all along the stem. Those are gonna become roots, is what I'm trying to say. All those little knobbies on the stem are gonna become roots. So when I bury this plant, I'm gonna bury it up to the last little white knob, which is right there. So that's how far I'm gonna bury it. I'm gonna use a little bit larger pots for the Jimmy Nardello peppers because the seedlings are a little bit larger. I'm gonna bury it up to the last little swollen bud of a root thingy. It's right there. I did add a little bit of worm castings to this soil. I found my bag there in the office. In there. Buried that pretty deep. But roots are gonna form. You'll see. I don't know if you noticed, but this pepper has a little bit of yellowing of the leaves, so I'm not entirely sure what that is. I don't know if that's nitrogen, I don't know if that's sulfur deficiencies. I am not entirely sure. So I'm hoping diluted fish emulsion and some worm castings will help. Okay, so that one's done. You better believe all this dirt that fell on the table is going back in the bowl and getting used on another plant. I think there's some on the floor too. Not wasting any of this. All right, there's number 2. They look so big already. I'm so pleased with these. And I started the Jimmy Nardellos December 1st. I started peppers. I mean, I'm in Texas, but December 1st. They look amazing. By the time it is time to plant these out in the garden, they're gonna be so big and healthy. And I have a couple more Jimmy Nardello seedlings in that tray back there too. I started 3 more from the batch I got from Botanical Interest. I'm gonna pot up the Sun Gold, clean up my mess a little bit, and then I'll see about planting up. I have brought my some of my newer seed haul items. I've got the Geranium Kiss tomato that I got from Emma Gardner. Chloe, Queen of the Night that I got from Nina and Boyce over at Rooted in Texas. The Basia Bajío pepper from Emma Gardner. Lemon drop pepper from Emma Gardner. And the Pequeño Yellow Piquillo pepper. I'll finish the rest of the cell. These empty cells here that I didn't get to fill from when I did the tomatoes and peppers. I'll go ahead and fill up that part. And then I'll have to figure out the soil situation and digging out more cups. So long stories, really long stories. Anyway, this might be the end of the video for you. So if it is, thanks for watching. Bye.